What's up, guys? It's the Beyond Two Souls review. It's the 10, the shiny one, the shine. Shine. The developer of this game is Quantic Dream, the makers of Heavy Rain. The publisher is Sony, and obviously it is a PS3 exclusive. If you've played Heavy Rain, it's not like it. It's similar, but it's not like it. If you're expecting it, if you haven't played it, if you haven't played Beyond Two Souls and you're wondering if it's like Heavy Rain, it's not like Heavy Rain for a lot of different reasons. Not only the gameplay, but the way the story is told. When it comes to Beyond Two Souls, I feel like there's an elephant in the room. I see why the reviews haven't been great for this game. It's kind of a hit or miss. The gameplay doesn't feel absolutely new, where you're just like, whoa, this is a new way of seeing a video game. But Quantic Dream did take a risk, and I say a risk because a lot of gamers don't really like things changed when it comes to video games. Like they want to play a game, they don't want to see a movie. A lot of gamers are really big on immersion and that kind of thing. So Quantic Dream took a risk in the way that they told the story and the way that they approached it with the gameplay and the storytelling, because it's very cinematic. This is more like an interactive movie. It kind of reminded me, I think this is kind of what we're going to be expecting with next gen games on the Xbox One. Like when you think of Remedy's Quantum Break, I think it's going to be something like this, where it's going to be very cinematic, very, very much like you're watching a movie, and then every now and then you have to interact. So there were scenes where I literally was just sitting there and waiting for a prompt for some, some QTE or something, which the QTEs are a little bit different in this game. But yeah, you just sit there and you're just like interact every now and then. It's almost like the type of interaction where it's like you're in a conversation with someone and you get to choose what to say or how to react. So you could say, you could choose to say nothing, you could choose to be sarcastic, that kind of stuff. Although she does have her own personality, but I mean, I did like that because it made it feel sometimes where it got me more interested in the story, in what was happening on the screen in that moment, in that dialogue, that specific dialogue. It got me more interested because I was like, how should I make this play out? Should I make it that she didn't say anything? Like there were some parts where I just chose not to say anything when Jodie is younger. And Nathan is asking her something. Nathan is her doctor. I'll go a little bit into that. It's William Dafoe's character. And he's asking her some questions, and she's just like sitting there like this. And I just chose not to say anything or to shrug or something like that. And she just goes. It added a specific feeling to the scene, and that's what I liked, that I had the control of adding the mood to the scene. Because in that scene, I could have just chosen to answer Nathan's questions like right away. But her going like this, like it just made it added more to it. Like it added something else where you start to feel like she doesn't want to talk about it, or like what's going on in her mind, that kind of thing. So I did like that. But a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people were like, no, it's just, I can't do anything. The story isn't told like from point A to point B. It's told out of order. So it's not sequenced. So it's telling you, like, it jumps around a lot. Between when Jodie was young, when she was a little kid, when Jodie was older, when she was a teenager, like that. So it jumps around different time periods in Jodie's life. And in the beginning, as cool as that was, like at first I was like, okay, this is interesting, because I had never really played a game like that like Beyond Two Souls. So I was interested. I like innovative ways of telling stories, innovative ways of doing video games. Like I'm interested in that. I want to try it out. The whole game isn't really long, but after jumping around so much, I think what happens is that you end up liking specific storylines, and then you have to leave it. And you're just like, I wanted to know more about that. Like, I wanted to stay there. Like, I really liked that aspect of Jodie's life, or that point in Jodie's life. And the reason why you feel that is because every jump is different. There's so many different areas that this game jumps from. Like, it's not one full story. Like, sometimes you feel like they're telling another story. And I think that went against the game. I really don't like that. Like, I don't like that they did that. That's one complaint that I have about the game, is that it jumped around way too much, and not just in time periods, but in story as well. Like, it wasn't, sometimes you were like, you felt lost. You were like, what was all that about? Like, why did they even tell that story if they're not even going to address it later? You know, like, I really liked that. So what was the point to it? I mean, maybe to establish Jodie's history? I don't know, but I started to get sick of it. That type of storytelling after a while, because I was like, okay, that had no point. And then you keep moving on, and then you're just like, well, I probably shouldn't even get used to seeing these characters, because they're probably not even going to come back. It really felt like someone was telling a story. Like, when people tell a story and they want to make a point at the end, and they put in a bunch of stuff in the middle where you're just like, okay, that's just fill-in. It's nothing, not really important, or it's completely unrelated. Now, I've got to say, this has nothing to do with the story of Beyond Two Souls. What I'm just going to say, it's completely unrelated. So I woke up this morning, and then I had breakfast. And when I was eating breakfast, my friend called, and she was like, oh my God, I met this one guy, and he's so hot. I looked at my phone, and it was doing some weird things. Like, it was like staticky, and then I saw some things, like some lights outside. But anyways, my friend that's really hot, he called me, and I was like, oh my God. So we went to school, and people at school, they don't like me that much, but whatever. And then aliens attacked. That's kind of how it felt, where it's just like it was just filler. I guess, like I said, it added to Jodie's personality, to her history or whatever. I think if they had kept that feeling, that what they were adding up to, what they were focusing on in the beginning, I think if they had kept it like that, because in some parts it got pretty weird. Like, it was like, what? In the beginning, it's like this mystery is being established, and you're just like, something's going on here. Something's up with Jodie. Maybe some kind of paranormal type of thing. Now, that's not a spoiler, because that was established early on. Jodie has these, I'm just gonna call them a power. This strange power that she has no idea why she has it, or where it came from, and that's why William Dafoe, Nathan, is treating her ever since she was a child, to find out what it is, and she calls it Aiden. Throughout the gameplay, you switch from Aiden to Jodie, so you could control these powers, and that was interesting. And in the beginning, they made it very mysterious, where you're just like, what is this? But you could already kind of guess what it was, and that's what I liked, where you're just like, oh, okay, I think I know what's going on here. They should have pushed that feeling or that idea more, instead of completely showing it to you, like in a way where I was like, what am I playing? It completely changed the mood of it, where at first I was like, okay, this is believable, but afterwards I was like, I don't know, I just started to feel like they took it too far, like they were thinking way too much about how to present the story, and I felt like they were trying too hard. Like, they were trying too hard to make people go, ooh, ah, oh. You didn't really have to do that. Like sometimes the less you show, the better it is, the more atmosphere you create. Because once you show people, like straight on, like this is exactly what we're doing here, you kind of cut out the imagination and you take away from the atmosphere. I thought that it was going to have a lot of potential, not only before I played the game, but also during when I started playing the game. I was liking what it was presenting, but then it just, I don't know, it just took a turn where you're just like, wait, what? There are a lot of great things in this game. The acting, for one, Ellen Page and William Dafoe. The scenes, the early scenes between them two were some of my favorite. Those were the ones that I was really looking forward to. The scenes between Nathan and Jodie, like I thought they did such a great job, the actors at them, and I really liked that relationship that was forming between them. But then down the line, it started to kind of separate. That relationship that they were forming, it just started to like separate. And I understand that was kind of done purposefully for the story, but I think it was probably the strongest thing that the game had going because of the chemistry that not only Jodie and Nathan, but also Ellen Page and William Dafoe had. So they kind of just, they were like, oh, they kind of did it a disservice, I think, because it felt real. And I think if they had played off that more, people would have reacted a little bit differently, because people like to connect with characters. They like to see relationships form between two characters, especially when it's this mentorship type of relationship, like in The Last of Us, Joel and Ellie, or like in BioShock Infinite, Booker and Elizabeth. When you have that type of chemistry forming between characters and actors, I feel like developers should take advantage of it. They should really jump on that, because it makes for really good storytelling. That's the way I feel. You guys might disagree, but I felt like they kind of just push that aside towards the middle, towards the end of the game. While I'm on that subject, I had just recently beat Heavy Rain for the first time when I started playing Beyond Two Souls. So I was really fresh out of another game by Quantic Dream. To be honest, I really liked Heavy Rain, like so much more than Beyond Two Souls. I think there was so much more to Heavy Rain. I mean, the story wasn't amazing in Heavy Rain, but the reason why Heavy Rain is so special, at least to me, is because of the reactions it got from me, because of the emotion it made me feel, the way that I connected with those characters, and not just because they were amazing characters and like super charismatic. No, it was because there was consequence there. Like whatever you did, there was a consequence. And there was always that danger of losing your characters. That what you did mattered. And it was like, if you screw up, if you mess up, they could die. Like they could die and they're gone. And they're gone because you did something wrong. And that feeling, like it haunted me throughout the whole game. Like I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And as much as you might think, as much as that might sound like, dude, that sucks. When a game could do that, when a game could make you feel that emotion, when it could get you to react so real like that, where you're just like so worried about these characters that you connect so much with them, that's amazing. Not many games do that. Not many games make you feel like these characters matter. Like these characters, like there's a consequence to what you do. And I think the opportunity was there for Beyond Two Souls, and I'm not saying that they should have done it like Heavy Rain, but since this is Quantic Dream and we're talking about two games that they made, I think that's what Beyond Two Souls kind of lacked, was that feeling of consequence, the feeling of danger, the feeling that you had something to do with the way the story was being told. In Heavy Rain, it was mind-boggling to me just how many options there were, how many things could go wrong, how many things could be done differently and have the game play completely different for you the whole game. When Jodie, like when she joins like the army, like those scenes that you see in the trailer where she's like in camouflage and she's got this freaking gun and all this stuff, there's no danger. If you miss a QTE, and they're not QTEs, oh my god, that's a completely different issue with me. If you miss one of those combat sequences, they hit you, that's it. And then you get right up and you continue fighting. You miss another one, you probably fall down or something, but you're not gonna die. You could fail at missions and all that, or missions could turn out to be different. I did have that experience. Like one of my missions was really lame because I did one thing instead of another thing, and I was like, okay, that was lame. But that was my fault. But there is no consequence. Like I feel like there's no consequence. There was no danger. There was no real danger. It was just a copy paste gameplay. Copy paste, because all the missions were different, but the gameplay was completely the same. Where like a lot of times when you had to go from cover to cover, it was the same. Like, okay, move from this cover to that cover without them looking at you, without them seeing you. And I'm like, again, like there's seriously nothing happens here. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't feel like all into it. I didn't feel suspense when the music was like all suspenseful. I didn't feel it. I was like, I literally, like, it was like da, 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 and I was like, there were so many times that I missed the combat sequences and nothing happened. I just got beat up. But Jodie always ended up winning the fight. You either won the fight by being this complete awesome person, where it's just like, like Bruce Lee, or you won the fight by getting beaten up, but just nailing the person in the face once at least. So it's like, it wasn't like Heavy Rain, where it's like you mess up and that person could die, and you're just like, that's what you freaking get. Like, you missed it, they died. Like, that's what makes you connect with the characters. That's what makes you care about them. That's what makes you that's what gets you into those moments when the music is going. Da, 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 da. If you watch my let's play of Heavy Rain, in the end, like towards the end of Heavy Rain, I was like losing it. I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack because I was like, oh my god, I was so into it. But those are the moments that gamers freaking kill for, to be so immersed in that game that you have your heart pumping and that you're like, oh my god, instead of just sitting there like, I mean, you might get caught, but they might see you, but it's like, okay, whatever. We're going to skip this anyways. We're going to go back to her childhood in a little bit anyways. With the mission that I screwed up in, it was a mission where she was a teenager, and it played out really lame. I could have gone to this one area. I'm not going to talk about it, but I could have gone to this one area. Jodie could have ended up going to this place that she wasn't supposed to, but I got caught before I even left the parking lot. And I ended up going right back where I started, and I was like, damn. But then it was like, it jumped to a different sequence, and it was like, whatever. I was like, okay. I was gonna replay it, because I was like, okay, that was pointless. Okay, whatever. In some points, I just didn't care about the characters. I was just like, nah. I didn't really care about the characters. Like, Jodie, because you're the main, she's the main character. Nathan, I just kind of lost interest in. And the other characters, it was like, I hate this guy. This guy's a moron. That guy I didn't even know. Like, I don't know that much about that guy. They should have developed the relationships between these characters. But they, since they had you jumping around sequences, in one point in Jodie's life, you are you're talking to a new character, but that's probably the last time you're going to see that person, or you're just going to see them just a few more times and in different situations. So, and sometimes years later, so you have no idea how that relationship even formed, and it's just like you're just missing so much there that you could have established by just telling the story in a straight line. You know what I mean? Like, instead of jumping around. So let me talk a little bit about the combat. I had such a hard time with the combat. You guys know how much I hate QTEs. I prefer QTEs any day over this type of combat. Oh my god. I was so fed up with it. So fed up with it because it's left open to interpretation. It's like, guess which way you have to hit. Because what it is it's not QTEs. It's not like telling you press X, press Y, or whatever. It's like, if she's going like this, obviously punching forward, you press forward and she's gonna punch the dude. But if you miss it, or if you press a different, it's only front, back, left, right. If you press it wrong or whatever, she's gonna miss and she's gonna get hit. But so many times I was like, is she gonna, I couldn't tell if she was punching forward or if she was turning right or if she was gonna turn left, because a lot of times it was like I literally would sit there and be like, is she going forward or is she going, because it would be like this. And I was like, she's going forward for sure. But no, she was going that way. And it's like, oh. Why do this? Is it because people hate QTEs? Is that why? But I mean, people are used to that. People are used to QTEs. I mean, you might suck at it in the beginning, but you get used to it. I got used to it. And you could always lower the difficulty if it's too hard. This was just, it was open to interpretation, where it's like, we're not telling you if she's going right or left, fool. You gotta guess. It's going in slow motion, and a lot of times it's like, and then the worst thing is that the lighting is absolutely horrible. I had to turn on the brightness on my TV all the way because sometimes it was so dark and they had you doing these combat things that I couldn't see it. I couldn't see what was going on. Like, I couldn't see. I already had trouble guessing if she was going right, left, front, whatever. Now add in a dark area and you're just like, I can't see what she's doing, dude. I cannot see what she's doing. You gotta be kidding me. When I first heard about this new combat style, I was like, this sounds really cool. This sounds a lot better than QTEs. I was so wrong. In my opinion, give me a QTE instead, dude, because that is straightforward. If you miss it, you know exactly why you missed it. There's no second guessing yourself. Like, what the hell is that? It's either X or it's Y. If you missed it, it was because you just didn't react fast enough. But this time, it's like, right? Towards the end, that's where I started to see more, that's where I started to get more critical. I think I was already kind of fed up with a lot of stuff, that towards the end, I was just like, I started seeing more things that were bothering me. I was starting to get more fed up. I was just like so done with it. Like, I really wanted the game to be over. I was just like, oh my god, dude, I cannot ask for the credits to come any sooner. Some important scenes where you're just like, here's one of the important scenes between Jodie and Nathan. They were like rushed. First it was dragged on, and it was like repetitive as hell. And then the important scene comes, and it's just like it just happens. And you're just like, the game isn't bad. I don't hate the game. I did enjoy it, but it was pretty much in the beginning. The beginning, like before it hit the middle, I think it was, the story was overthought. It was overreacted. It was overdone. I think that story that they were trying to tell, I think it's a really thought-provoking story. It's a really touching story. I think they should have gone a little bit easier on it. Like, they shouldn't have overdone it the way that they did. I like a story to be consistent. in the feeling, in what it's presenting to you, in its genre. I like it to be consistent. I don't like it to be jumping around all the place, because then it just does, it feels cut up. It feels like it's not together. It feels like a puzzle that just doesn't, that you're missing a piece, or that you're missing pieces, that it just doesn't come together. Like, it just, something feels off. That's what it felt like. It felt like two different games. Oh, you're playing a movie. Like, I don't care. If it's a good story, then awesome. But you also have to have that feeling, that intrigue that pulls a gamer in and immerses them and makes them feel like what they're doing matters, or like makes them feel like what they're doing, like they're actually part of the game and not just outside of the game. Like, you were just there to press next. Please understand that we all have a different opinion. We all like and dislike different games. You guys know that I almost never give a number score on my reviews, because I feel like I don't think numbers do a review justice. I think talking about it, that's why my reviews are a little bit longer, because I like to talk about specific things more, so that you could kind of get an idea, instead of like actually giving it a number. I feel weird giving games a number. I always feel like I don't do it justice. But in this case, I am going to give it a number, just because it's usually very obvious when I love a game and when I recommend it. So I'm just like, why even give it a number when you guys know that I'm recommending it to you? But in this case, since I had more bad stuff to say than good stuff, I'm gonna give it a number at the end. If you're very into like having the control of like shooting or using powers whenever you want to, I mean, you do get to control Aiden every now and then and like mess with people, but you can't mess with anybody you want to. Only the prompted people, only the people that have like a yellow aura. So if you want to kill the person, or you want to do something to the person in front of you to the left, you if you don't get the prompt to do it, you can't do it. Like, even if they're just standing right there in front of you, we're just like, dude, I can just get up and shoot them. Sometimes you can't, because they might have some blue aura, and if they have a blue aura, you can't really do anything to them. If they have a yellow aura, you could do something to them. You could possess them. If they have a red aura, you could kill them. You could do Darth Vader, the Force choke. So if you like to have the control of choosing how to approach a specific mission, how to approach a specific combat situation, that this game does not give you that at all. It's all prompted. It's all, you don't really have choice in how to do that. You have a very specific linear path to follow. There's no exploration in this game. Kind of like, if I explore, I might find some items. There is none of that. If you don't see a little white dot on something, on a door or on a handle or whatever, or on a cup or whatever, you can't interact with it. So yeah, if you're not into that stuff, if you prefer to have the complete control over your character, you most likely will not like this game. If you're very open to new gaming experiences, if you enjoy different types of games, if you're not very, very picky on like where you're just like, oh no, I just enjoy a good story, then you might want to try this game, because like I said, the story isn't bad. It did feel very disconnected, but a lot of people have said that it's a beautiful story. Some people really liked it, so I think it is a game. It is a story worth playing if you're that type of gamer. I found it kind of interesting to do something different, and I was like, I think a lot of Xbox One games are going to be like this, because Xbox One is really big, going really big on interactive games and on like interactive TV and that kind of stuff. So if you want to get a feeling of that, I think this game does a pretty good job about that. Remember, this review is spoiler free, so please try to keep the comments spoiler free, because a lot of people that come watch this video, they look for spoiler free reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. What's up guys? So I know that a lot of you are probably wondering what I chose for the ending of Beyond Two Souls, but don't worry, I am going to be making a video where I talk about the ending, so that will come soon. I will link it to this video, so yeah, make sure you guys keep an eye out for that later.